special day. It was the 4th of June 1989, and something momentous happened on that day, which is very relevant to the talk today and very relevant to what is in front of you and believing in something. Very, we took the photo and how it's resonated 30 years later. How a man went in front of a tank. It's called the tank man.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that photo? Yeah. Yesterday was the 30th anniversary of it. And the lone man kicked it. And I could dream. I was the commentators, I was the footballers, I was the crowd, and I was the players. And I'd play out there, somehow kick the ball and then the stick. Eventually, and I wanted to play football. My heroes back then were people you might not have heard, Ted Whitten and all these other. They became my spectators. Then I'd go back at night, sit down, and I'd write who won the game, who were the best players, and I dreamed of it. My mother taught me about imagination. 5 little bowls. One bowl was called hope, one bowl was called belief, one bowl was called love, and one was called faith. And she said, pick each one up, pour a little bit in there, a little in there, and then you get a big spoon and you mix it. You've got the magic ingredient. Imagine all that in there is handed to you. I'm a little guy, I'm looking up like that. And Mum made me believe in that. Bit of belief, imagination. Imagine how good you can be. Imagine yourself beyond the wheelchair, beyond the calipers. Bit of right, good bit of love, inner love, and hope. So when that guy sitting on the sidelines, he walked there, he knew he was a goner. But you know what, he got those 2 little shopping bags, he went probably gone from Safeway, probably had to pay 15 cents back in China, and he stood there, never to be seen again. Rubbed down in the annals of Chinese history, that has never existed. But that man did it because he had hope, belief, he imagined what a better place China could be, and he had faith in what he believed. So what if a 10-year-old boy crippled, say parish priest, I think we can send him to boarding school, this will either make him or break him. And Dad being, yeah, I think that'd be a really good idea. At those stages, there was no consultation with the matriarch of the family, the mother, because the father took control. This is really good. And he had my brother and my sister to look after, house, mortgage, and Mum and Dad did 2 jobs. And probably blokes, people like some of your parents that do 2, 3 jobs, just for the betterment of you. So I get in a wheelchair, my calipers, and I end up at St. Joseph's, Geelong. Off, out of sight, out of mind.
How old were you?
Sorry? I was 10 years old.
10.
I totally felt unloved. I had every right not to like my parents. Weeks go by, and months go by, and I used to see kids playing football. And I imagined, wow. And I remember one day sitting on a bench. Sat on a bench, and I was at Fraser Street watching the team play football. And someone gave me a tap on the shoulder. I looked over and said, "Do you want to play football?" I said, "Yeah, I really do. I want to be part of the kids." Mind you, there was 125 kids at boarding school. 3 of us were Italian. You reckon they got it bad, mate? I copped it bad. I wasn't white. I didn't eat Vegemite toast. I ate salami, chicken schnitzels. I ate spaghetti. So I copped it bad. So I said, yeah, to this person that tapped me on the shoulder. He said, I want to play football. Do you believe you can play football? I said, yeah. Do you trust me? I said, yeah. You know what, Albert? I'm going to give you all the worst things that can happen to you in your first 14 years of your life. But do you trust me? Do you trust me, and do you trust yourself? And have you got enough belief, enough self-love, enough faith, enough hope, everything that was in that bowl, to do it? I said, yeah. I look around to see who's talking to me. There's no one there. It was the universe. It was this invisible person, which was, I believe, was God, talking to me, and all he told me about was about trust. You've got to trust me, son. Trust me. And I was really invigorated by then. And I have, in years past after that, I always go to Geelong and I always sit on that bench. It's still there. That's the genesis of my belief. So I had the fortune, I was so fortunate. And from then on, my life was fortunate. I've had only good things happen to me. I went to a Christian brother called Brother McCabe. Now, Brother McCabe's brother was Stan McCabe, one of the great cricketers of Australia. And I went up to him and I said, you know what, brother? Son, call me son. I want you, son. When you're 60 years old, stop what you're doing, look up in the sky, because I'm long gone, and I want you to tell me it was right. Promise me that in 50 years' time, you will do that. Promise me. I said, yep. He said, in here is all you need. So he picks up this box, drops it, and all over the place goes all these little pieces. I'm a bit thick. What's it? How's this going to make me walk? He said, do you know what all this is? I said, no. A thing called a Lego set. And have you heard of it? I said, no. I've got a Lego set. My dad can't afford anything. My only toy was an old wooden box, which was a fruit box. Back in those days, fruit came in boxes. I'd get a cloth over it, and I'd ride it. It was my horse. I couldn't do anything else. I can't walk. I said, that's my toy. I've got no toys. I've heard of a Lego set. You know what a Lego set does? You know what a Lego set? What do you do with a Lego set? Have you got one at home? Yeah. What do you do with it?
Just build stuff.
Sorry?
You build stuff.
You build stuff.
Yeah.
And how do you build it?
I don't know, you need a manual and just look at the manual.
What do you do? What do you actually do to build stuff?
Think.
What do you actually do?
Imagine.
What do you actually do?
Think. Experiment.
Piece by
Experiment.
piece.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
Just stick it on each other.
Yes. Exactly.
Glue it together.
Piece by piece. And
Step by
I
step.
said, yeah, and then you build. I said, that, what's your name?
Cavallo.
Cavallo. That is a secret to life. That's the message. Because your life is made up of moments, experiences, events. No such thing, Albert. No such thing as dramas, issues. No such thing as that. So I learned at the age of 10, there was no such thing as a problem. There's no such thing as an issue. No such thing as a drama. It's all an event. You're here and you play. How many rounds of footy is this season?
14.
14. every round, every training session, you're building a block. Every day of your life, you're building a block. What you experience, every person you meet today, every training session you make today is all about building. You're building a block. And in that Lego set, it never stops. So he said, I want you to go next door and build me what's on that wall. So I go in and then come back when you're finished. So I go in there, I build it. It took me about 6 or 7 weeks. And he said to me, why did it take you so long? It's crap, I don't understand it. I don't know where this is going to get me to walk. What did you do? Why did it take? Oh, it fell over about 4 or 5 times. I didn't understand why it fell over. I went back to the drawing board. It fell over because there was no foundation. The foundation wasn't strong. So I didn't put it together. Or like that young gentleman said, glue them together. They fell over, they crumbled. Your life will crumble if you don't build a foundation. I had a fantastic foundation. Because my mother, in that imaginary bowl, said just add a little bit of hope, a little bit of belief. I believed. So I go back and he said, that's fantastic, Albert. I'm really glad. What will happen now as you go learning how to walk and playing football is about what life's all about. You're going to have moments where you'll be a high and you'll have moments where they'll be down. And you will get, along this journey, a watershed moment. And a watershed moment is, I've done my best, I can't do it anymore, and I fought the good fight, I've had enough.
Give up.
And then I sit and I satisfy myself that I didn't have to do it anymore. So, and I become a champion of mediocrity. I become mediocre. Football, grand finals. There's a 1989 grand final. I had the pleasure of working with Alan Jeans, 3/4 time in the 89 grand final, probably the best grand final of all time. And they're killing each other. Geelong and Hawthorn killing each other. 3/4 time, half the Geelong team can't walk, half the Hawthorn team can't walk. And Alan Jeans goes and gives them, that was their watershed moment. He sits at 3/4 time, he tells them about, this is it. You can sit back, you've made your 2nd grand final in a row, but you'll be mediocre because you've got a chance for immortality. To win back to back, you become an immortal. And have you heard the story? Anyone heard the story? Right, I won't dive. I'll go quickly tell you about it. So he tells them a story about, it's similar to mine. He tells them a story about a 3/4 time in a grand final they spent about a little boy going into a shoe shop. Anyone heard this? Go shoe shop. He's got $100. His mum gives him $100. This is 3/4 time in a grand final in a shoe shop. He goes to he sees a pair of shoes and picks them up. Oh, wow. Smells leather, feels leather, everything's leather uppers. Looks behind it and it's got made in Italy. Wow. Costs $99. Shit. Bit rich. Goes to the next bench. And he sees leather uppers. Synthetic sole. Smells plastic. Synthetic inners. $19.99 is the price. Now, I can save myself $80. That's a lot of money. And look, and mind of that little boy says, you're prepared to pay the price. Yeah. Take those, $20. It's leather. It's got a leather rubber. Or do I go for the real McCoy? This Chinese money, China will last me 3 months. That will last me a lifetime. So he tells the little boy to make a decision. Am I prepared to pay the price? And that's what Owen Jean said to all those Hawthorne people. If you're prepared to pay the price, you become immortal if you're prepared to pay the price. History, they paid the price, all right, because they won the game and they couldn't walk after the game. If you ever get an opportunity, Google before Saturday's game, you're playing, Google last quarter 89 grand final, from what I've told you. So, the Christian brother says to me, you're prepared to pay the price up, you're going to get a watershed moment. So, he said to me, are you ready to do it? I said, yep, I'm ready to do it. This little 10-year-old boy, yep, I'm ready to do it. And he gives me a blackboard, a piece of chalk and a rag. He said, how long do you think, Albert, it'll take you to learn how to walk? The first goal is to walk. He said, I said, 1,191 days. Gee, where did you get that from? That's how many pieces are in that Lego set. So I write 1191 and I put it in my locker. And he said, every day, Albert, I'm going to take you on this journey. I'm going to build you from outside. You've got to build yourself from within. Together, he formulated the plan, and this little 10-year-old boy who had this dream, this imagination, great dollop of hope, and a great bank of faith, started his journey. Every night, I did some bricks, I used to lift bricks, do push-ups, sit-ups, pommel horse, swim, and every night, before midnight, I would go crawl to the locker and rub out 1191, and I'd rub it out to the next number, and it went down. By doing that exercise, I learned one of the great emotions. I'm only 10 years old, but I had great belief. I knew I could do it. I had great hope. I knew I could do it. I learned the anticipation. That's I believe it's one of the great unheralded emotions one can have. And it comes in a lot of ways. I was really excited about coming here tonight. I was excited about sharing this with you. I was excited about meeting new people. I was excited about meeting the mums and dads. And I learned it is one of the most fabulous emotions, I can't tell you. At Aileen, when first girlfriend, the anticipation. Wow, I never knew what a girlfriend was. I never knew what girls were. I was in boarding school, but the anticipation of something of every day. So I go to bed at night, not worried about what happened, worrying about, I think about tomorrow. What's tomorrow going to bring me? And the Christian brother said to me, Brother McCabe, if you can take that in everyday life, you're going to have an extraordinary journey. So every day I did that, just to cross it out. But at the same time, I created myself a flaw in my character. I wasn't inclusive. I didn't include my mum and dad. You know what? They sent me to boarding school. I waved goodbye to them. It was me against the world, against my world, which was my inner self. Belief versus you can't do it, you're crippled. And I didn't allow anyone, if I reflect back, I didn't actually allow anyone to enter my space. weeks went by, I started getting a little bit better, and I started really being able to lift myself a bit better because I had a good core muscle at that stage. And the Christian brother would sit me down, and every Saturday the school first 18 used to play. And my hero was a guy called, you've heard of Matthew Scarlett?
Yeah.
All right. His father was probably the best footballer at school, the captain, John Scarlett. Played for Victoria, played for the Swans, played for Geelong. And I would go up to him and I'd say, you know, John, can I carry your bag? He said, yeah. So I became his mascot. 2 calipers, his bag was over here, and I used to carry it into the dressing room because I wanted to smell the liniment. I wanted to live what it was like. This could be me. The belief it was me. I wanted to do that. The days whittled down, and about 500 days into the 501 days into this journey of belief, imagination, I reached my watershed moment. I lie back in bed. I've had enough. I'm tired. I've fought a good fight. I've had enough. I went to look for my calipers. Not there. So these kids, since they've taken them, my schoolmates had taken them, and I could hear commotion. And there was a quadrangle, 3 floors high, so I struggled to the holding on, and I look over the quadrangle, and there were my calipers. These kids put them down in the quadrangles. So I had to walk around 3 steps, 3 flight of stairs, stumble across, and I go and I see my calipers. So I bend over. I said, oh shit. There's something stuck to one of the calipers. And it had a note. The caliper put it, and they seen that I was struggling. And they put a red balloon. My favourite colour is red, so I wore red today. My sign off on a text message are balloons. The balloons represent something massive to me. It's red is passion, love, sensuality, freedom, fearlessness. That's what it represented to me. I got up, and in my locker I find a handwritten note by Brother McCabe, who had noticed that I was struggling. And this handwritten note was from a speech that was made by President Roosevelt in 1919. I'm going to read it to you. I've still got the piece of the letter that he wrote it on. And this is where this man here, and all of you, when you confront life at a football game, and those Hawthorn players of '89 last quarter. I'll read it out to you. It's called The Man in the Arena. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points how the strong man stumbles. It could be your house, it could be your space, it could be your heart, that could be your arena, your soul. But falls over, yeah, you stuff up. You know what? But Callum, you get up again, Callum. What's your name? Emilio. This is a hand pass on the half forward line. This is another hand pass on the other half forward line. But it keeps going in and in. On cold nights, trains. There's a great shot we'll go back to football in the Sydney Swans versus West Coast game back I think 2004. Luke Ablett kicks across goal in the last 3 minutes of the game. Imagine that in the grand final. Instead of being harassed by his teammates. Teammates come up to him, it's all right, mate, it's all right. It's okay. And then, very low scoring game. Then the ball goes back there and Luke Ablett gets the ball, kicks it, passes it to someone else, who passes down, who passes and they kick a goal. Suddenly, they're in front. And Leo Barry takes that mark. It didn't go in, it belongs to Emilio, who's missed the first 3 passes. So in a game of footy, or in a game of life, if you see Emilio stuffed up, oh, come on, let's go and give him a bit of encouragement. You've got to play as a team. It's all about team effort. And so that's what I learned. I got that, and I've kept it all my life. And so I went on, and I started improving. I started walking a little bit better. I started getting ready to go and play football, walk, and suddenly the days were whittled down to 5 to 3 to 2 to 1. And then on the day at 0, when I took all these kids with me, who I shunted out, I made them share this journey of mine, and together we did what we did. And then on my last day, I was ready to start playing football, hand passing, and they picked me as an emergency. Brother McKay picked me as an emergency. I'm in the room getting my Guernsey, and there's a knock on the door, and in walks John Scarlett. And he says, "Albert, can I carry your bag?" Now, as I say that, I well up with tears because it's a momentous moment in my life. And to have John Scarlett, wow. And I didn't play footy that day, I was a reserve. I wasn't good enough to play football, but it was part of the kids wanted me on the bench. And so I trained. I couldn't run as fast. But I could kick better than anyone. I would stay after school and kick and play football. And then I'd go home. I'd go back to Station Street. This time, I didn't have any calipers. And my field of dreams was there, because I believed. And I used to play football there. This time it wasn't a paper football, it was a real footy. And went back to boarding school, and they made me captain of the first 18. I wasn't the best footballer, believe me, but I could kick the ball further. I could handball 50 metres straight through the eye of a needle. I taught myself the other skills. So it's just because you haven't got some skills, but I believed in myself. I believed I could play football. I believed that if I kicked straight, they put the ball to me in the forward line, I would kick the ball. Goal. And I was captain of the school first 18 with league footballers. Then I liked to play cricket. I was captain of the school first 11. That I was really good at. And that I didn't have to run a lot. I could kick a ball, and I was captain of the school first hockey side. I wasn't the best footballer. It was a terrible moment for me. Well, what am I going to do now? It's like the old Forrest Gump movie. You seen Forrest Gump movie? Yeah. When the guys keep running and running. They run for 3 years. So Gump one day stops, and the American guy, typical of the Americans, says, "Well, what are we going to do now?" And Forrest turns up and says, "I'm tired now. I'm going to go home." So at 17, that Monday morning, boarding school had finished. No more boarding school because they couldn't handle all the day kids. And I'm standing at the front gate in a Fraser Street, looking back. And I see the Bluestone step, where 7 years before that, I was there, like this, wheelchair, waving goodbye to mum and dad. And I look back, and guess who I saw? I saw myself as a 10-year-old little boy, waving goodbye to me. Every time I go to Geelong, I stand at a Fraser Street gates and I look towards that Bluestone. And I get belief, love, hope, faith. And I look back and the little boy smiles at me and goes, about to leave, Brother McCabe comes forward with me. He said, what can I say to you, Albert? You're a special person. What you've done, no one else could do. And I want to give you a gift. And I want to give you a gift because you're the only one that can spread this message along. And he gives me that grotty old box with all those pieces of the Lego set. He said, take this and share it in your life. I've taken it. And he said, by the way, Albert, don't forget what you promised me when you're 60. In 50 years' time, you will stop and you will tell me if the theme of what that Lego says is true. So, 18th birthday comes in with a chat. I can't wait till I'm 60. 21, can't wait till I'm 60. 30, 40, 50. I keep saying I can't wait till I'm 60 because I wanted to know if Brother McCabe was right. I knew I was fortunate. Sitting on that park bench, that little person that, do you trust me, son? I said, yeah. I want to know if that was right. And I always made decisions with my heart. I always dreamed. I dreamed things that I thought would never happen, that happened. I dreamed that I wanted to walk and play football. It happened. And every day every moment, I sit back and I reflect on my life. I've met some extraordinary people. I'm sitting in a cafe in Sydney, and guess who I met? Dan Wilder, the man who took that photo, very precious to me, the Goliath. Precious. I've met some Muhammad Ali. I worked at Channel 9, and he's right. Sat down and had a cup of coffee with the great Jack Nicklaus. Know Jack Nicklaus, the golfer? Champion. Tiger Woods, you all know Tiger Woods? Well, this guy was better than Tiger Woods. Sits down at Channel 9 one day and said, "G'day, Mr. Nicklaus." And I said, "Oh, g'day." And he said, I said to him, "What is so good?" And his answer has stayed with me for the rest of my life. I hit 1,000 golf balls a day. I said, I said, "No way. You can't hit 1,000 golf balls a day?" I said, "Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hit 999 in my head." Got a football there. You should be imagining kicking a football. And every night I go to bed imagining me playing football. Station Street 7, my field of dreams, where I relive the moments. And I ended up on the MCG, playing in a schoolboys under-18 grand final. I dreamed. Somewhere at home, I've got a piece of that earth from about 50 years ago, somewhere at home. So, in life, it's been terrific because I believe in it. I always believed in what I could achieve. So the great lesson in this is really about believing. Every day you're doing something. Every time you go on a football ground, you're doing something. Every time you're at home with your mum and dad, you're doing something to the betterment of yourself. So I reached 60. I go to Cradle Mountain by myself to walk, and I wait till 1 a.m. Why 1 a.m, not midnight? Because it's daylight savings. My birthday's in February. So the bell chimes on my clock for 1 a.m. I have waited with great anticipation. The greatest anticipation of my life is I wanted to turn 60. I wanted that moment to come. It came. And I looked up in the sky. I said, you know what, brother, you were right. Our life is all about moments, experiences, events, not about problems, not about dramas, not about issues. And he taught me about engaging, and I engage in all those. So engage in your emotions. And when you're playing football there, engage with your mates, how he's playing the game. Engage with him. Go up and, that's all right. Support your mates. Support yourself. Believe. With belief, conquer the world. With belief, I conquered my world. My world was beautiful. I made it better because I had a lot of faith, hope, imagination, and belief. And I never forgot the message of that. I got up. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives failing, who comes up short again and again, but spends himself in a worthy cause. So if you stuff up on a footy field, go back and help in your own lives at home, at work, at school, relationships. We all stuff up. Learn from it. Engage in every emotion that you can, but believe in. Go tonight and believe in yourself. Believe in what you can do as a group. Greatest sporting victories are because of belief. Teams that should never have won. Western Bulldogs should never have won that grand final. They went WA, Sydney, can't win it, they won it. Richmond, West Coast. It's all about belief. And it's the one common thing we've got in our life, it's about belief. And I had the great pleasure, the postscript to all this is that Brother McCabe died. He asked me to do his eulogy. And the eulogy was the lesson of that Lego set. I brought the old grotty box and I told them what he represented to me and to all the thousands and thousands of kids he taught. Piece by piece colour. Piece by piece. Thank you.
Grotty box, so it does exist. I just might get you to explain because I'm not sure some of the boys would actually understand what polio is.
Okay, polio before 1976, it was a major problem in the world, along with tuberculosis. Polio is a virus that feeds the nervous system of one's muscles. For your muscles to survive, you need to be fed. Now,